Alrighty guys, here it is right here. This is a Durango. Alright, ticking noise guys. Now y'all know how I am. Okay, whoa, 200,000 miles. Guys, remember when I told y'all, first thing you do when you got a ticking noise as a complaint, check the freaking oil level. Do not start the car. You could be blamed for something because if it's ticking noise, the problem obviously oil related. First thing you should do on any ticker job or any, all right, guys. Okay, y'all know where this is going. Alrighty. Yes, 200,000 miles, guys. Y'all see where this is going. This is bad. I don't think I've seen one this bad. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, do not even start this car. This car can potentially seize up on you in your possession, and you will be blamed for it. So I can obviously see where the oil leak coming from, and I can obviously see there's no oil in the crankcase. All right, let's get it. Yeah, because I might have to shut it down as soon as you start it up, depending on how noisy it is. I'm gonna get my helper to start it up and see what happens. I don't guess the noise is gonna go subside. Oh, it is pouring all over my damn floor. Whoa! Alright, we done here. I thought, you put oil in it, it would shut up, but yeah, it don't look like this. He needs a motor.
You can see out a
oh
window.
My goodness, and this is 4-wheel drive.
Does he have a window in the block? Like the hole from the block, that's why all the oil is just pissing out?
No, it's coming from here. It's spitting all that up here, yeah.
Oh, okay.
When you started it up, that's why I wanted to look. You started up, all that oil pissing up out of here. This thing is just crack. Not crack, busted open.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's so hard to say goodbye to this Durango. Y'all see that? 208,000 miles. All right, guys. That's about a wrap for this one, guys. At least I'm thinking it is. I don't know what the customer gonna decide to do. She do, however, need an engine. I'm sure y'all saw those shorts videos, came in with a ticking noise. I had the bright idea in the very beginning to simply check the oil level. Oh my goodness, thank goodness I did that, because it had 0 on the stick. All right, then I simply lifted up the cover and I see all of this. Well, I refused to drive it in the shop because I stuck 1/4 oil in. Remember, guys, as long as you got some oil in it, it's not technically okay to drive it, but you can do something you need to do quick. Okay, you can't just let it run with 1/4 oil in it. Eventually that could damage something. So my thinking behind that was put a quarter in, drive it in the shop. Well, I put a quarter in, fire it up. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. And what I'm trying to say is the noise didn't go away. Normally when valve train system is dry, it will make a clattering noise until the oil get up to the valve train parts, lubricate it, and then some of the lifters and everything will be quiet, shut up. That didn't happen. The noise stayed there. So I decided to shut it off. All right, and push it in the shop. So we got the thing pushed in the shop. Yeah, push it in, put me 5 quarts of oil in it. All right, guys, guess what? No sooner as I did that, fired up. Yes, the clattering noise, the thinking behind me firing up was to see if the clattering noise go away. In other words, we can save the engine if the noise go away. But I don't know, 20 seconds went by, noise still there. 30 seconds went by, and I know that oil pump good enough to pump that oil up. The problem was all the oil was like pouring out of here. I think I got some visual of that. Look at this. I don't guess the noise is gonna go subside. All the oil was just bubbling out of here, so I don't know if it was ever even making it to the valve train, because remember that channel goes through here first. So if it never made it to that, you know what I'm saying, if it never made it to the valve train, how will it ever shut up? So now this become a risk factor. Should you sell or offer the adapter housing, get that fixed, and then start it up and see if the valve train subside, the noise go away? Okay, yes, it's a decision-making process, guys. Think about this for a second. If you sell that, this is not an easy job. This is not a small job. This is a gamble job. If you convince the customer, man, We can repair this first. You know how some people, some shops use the term start here. If we use that term, man, we can start here, get this replaced, and then start it up and see what happens. That is a lot of money. The customer is not going to want to pay that if they don't get no results, or if they don't get no, or if we're not able to go further. All right, so that's too big of a risk for some shops. All right, sure, if I had a magic wand and I can tell, oh, once you replace this, then the oil is going to lubricate both valve train sides and the noise is going to go away and you'll be fine. Turn out that's all you need with this. But I don't have a magic wand. I can't tell that. Okay, yeah, I'm not going out like Cousin Pookie and them. All right, because there's no 100% guarantee on anything in the automotive repair industry. I have to, and because of the high mileage, it's extremely risk. We gotta cut out all the risk, guys. We have to sell an engine, all right? Mere fact, because it's 200,000 miles in, they ran it with no oil. Okay, so who knows what's wrong with it? Yeah, we just can't take that high risk. In fact, look, this is all the oil that I just put in the car. The car only ran 30 seconds after we started up. I'm trying to see if the noise go away, but I had no chance to see it because it was coming all out just that fast. So everybody's different, guys. Every shop different. I know some guys are gonna get in the comment section, your shop don't know how to do nothing, can't do nothing, y'all don't fix nothing around them. No, man, we about risk avoidance. We avoiding all high risk cars. This classifies a high risk job just by the mere fact of it having 200,000 miles. I know some of you guys used to seeing vehicles out there with that many miles, and y'all take it as normal. That's cool. Y'all risk tolerance a lot lower than ours. Okay, people will sue us quicker than they sue y'all. Y'all's shop might be so small that, you know, there's nothing to gain from suing y'all. But a big shop like this, oh, let's sue them, they got money. So people will, just like the guy with the stop leaking his radiator. He passed 10 shops to get to our shops and try that little stunt. The only his stunt didn't work, and it was dwarfed because the ticket was dispatched to one and only JT, the car guy. He got sense enough to know he's not a cocky mechanic. He's not, oh, all you got to do is do this. No, he's been burnt so many times. That's where experience come in at. If you have never seen such thing, you never know what to avoid. Now, all you cocky guys out there, oh, all you got to do is flush the radiator, man. Don't be a punk. Yeah, all you got, it takes one time for y'all to get burnt for y'all to change that mentality. All right, so yeah, you just go through the process and keep working on cars. You'll learn as you go. So I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying my risk tolerance is lower, especially here where I'm at now. All right, I work out of 4 shops. In each shop, the tolerance is different. Okay, and I know how to adapt and adjust to my current situation, my current climate situation that I'm at the time. All right, so I got a mess to clean up. Put this thing outside, guys. I got to write up an engine. There's no way around it. Okay, it ran it too long without oil. Like I say, man, it's a delicate situation. Now I'm gonna say this. This was my car, or we was at Brother Motors. Yeah, I would convince her. Let's put this on, see what happens. Yeah, like I say, think about this for a second. If I put this on and then my oil go to its necessary and the car shut up, boom, somebody got them a good Durango. All right, but in this case, I gotta let the boss know where we at, where we staying, if he's willing to take that risk. Because I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. Damn it! If we do this, man, we gotta start him. It's a $600-700 job, maybe. All right, and we put this on. Now the oil is being distributed, but the valve train won't shut up. And because of the high mileage, they don't want us to replace rock arms and lifters and nothing like that, because a lot of other stuff can be worn out. And they end up needing an engine. The customer's not going to want to pay that $600 for this we just did. Even though we explained to them, ma'am, we can try this. Okay, try that. Ma'am, sign right here that you willing, you understand what's going on. Okay, I sign right here. All of that and stuff don't go their way, they still going to want their money back, or they going to want to not pay. So a lot of stuff we try to avoid. Guys, I got to go. This video too long. So I hope y'all understand what's going on. All right, my different situations depends on different where I'm at. All right, that's all I have. Thanks for watching.